need some details, then I'll get my people to draw up some contracts. I've got a good feeling about this. Let's make this happen.
Hi guys and welcome back. It's Sunday the 3rd of November, and before we get into anything, if you do enjoy the content, then please leave me a big thumbs up and consider supporting me. Our game of choice this week is the fantastic Grid 2 on the PlayStation 3. Game addiction, well, addiction of any kind, is certainly not good for you, but it does look as if our very own NHS in the UK is doing something about it to try and help people. Let's get into this one.
Harrison Carter is the main man around here. Show him you're up for the challenge. New Union is one of the best-known racing clubs in the US. Finish in the top 3 to get their attention.
Children treated for computer game addiction under the NHS long-term plan. Now, this is actually on the NHS website. I'll put a link in below so that you guys, if need be, can click on it. But certainly in the UK, if your kids have got any form of an addiction, or you yourselves as an adult realise you've got an addiction, then please go and check this out. Anyway, the new service is part of the National Centre for Behavioural Addictions, which will also provide support for internet addiction and is located alongside the National Problem Gambling Clinic. Now, this comes amid growing concerns about the amount of time children and teenagers spend playing online games, and that the impacts it can have literally on your mental health. Now, the World Health Organization has recently classified gaming disorder as a mental health condition for the very first time. So, the new Centre for Internet and Gaming Disorders launches at the same time as the Children and Young Persons Gambling Addiction Service goes live. It is part of an expansion for treatments promised in the NHS long-term plan, and this referrals for both young people services started in this month. Now, when I say this month, it's not actually started in November. It actually started the 8th of October. Psychiatrists and clinical psychologists at the services will work with patients aged between 13 and 25 whose lives are being wrecked by severe or complex behavioural issues associated with gaming, gambling and social media. Now, I think this is a fantastic thing. Gaming addiction is real. I'm sorry, people, it is. Any form of addiction is not good for us. And I also feel a lot of the time, parents, you really do need to take a brunt of the blame. Because if your children will not stop gaming, you've got to do something about it. Now, certainly the NHS is trying to help you here with this. So I think this is a fantastic idea, but also at the same time, it is very long overdue. We should have had this years ago now, because this addiction has certainly been around since, oh my word, PlayStation 1 days and before. It's got to have. I always remember hearing on the news, certain footballers and that they couldn't concentrate on the game because they were too busy playing PlayStation. Unbelievable. And these were professional athletes that were getting addicted to these sort of things. So this is most certainly long overdue. So the NHS Chief Executive Simon Stevens has said, health needs are constantly changing, which is why the NHS must never stand still. This is a new service and it is a response to an emerging problem, part of the increasing pressure that children and young people are exposed to these days. However, the NHS should not be left to pick up the pieces. Gambling and internet firms have a responsibility to their users as well as their shareholders, and should do the utmost to prevent rather than cash in on obsessive and harmful behaviour. Now this I do agree with as well. You know, those, we could argue, those greedy game producers can be doing a lot more. But at the same time, parents, you've got to be doing your part. I remember reading, and I'm pretty sure I did an article, I mentioned it in an article, where this woman had a son that was addicted to playing games at an internet cafe. So what she would do is she'd go down there and force feed him food while he was playing. Now, that's just fucking ridiculous. You should be grabbing the lad by the scruff of the neck and marching him straight out the place. That is just ridiculous. So parents, you've got to help. You've got to do your part as well. Simon Stevens does go on to say that gaming disorders is defined by the World Health Organization as a pattern or persistence of a recurrent gaming behaviour, so severe that it takes precedence over other life interests. Now, symptoms include impaired control over gaming, increased priority to gaming, and continuation or escalation of gaming despite negative consequences such as the impact on relationships, social life, studying and work life, or spiralling financial costs. Now, that just reminds me of something a friend said in work, that he gave up gaming because all of a sudden he'd wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and suddenly realise, I wonder if this would work, trying to get past that level. That's when he discovered, I've got an addiction, and he stopped. Some people can switch off, others can't. Anyway, I digress. Many countries are grappling with the issue of gaming and internet addiction. In South Korea, the government has introduced a law banning access for children under 16 from online games between midnight and 6 o'clock in the morning. In Japan, players are alerted if they spend more than a certain amount of time each month playing games. And in China, internet giant Tencent has limited the hours that children can play its most popular games. Now, just to also add, Claire Murdoch, the NHS Medical Mental Health Director, has said, compulsive gaming and social media and internet addiction is a problem that is not going to go away when they play such a key part in modern life. The NHS is rising to the challenge, as it always does, with these new innovative services, but we can't be expected to pick up the pieces, which is why tech giants need to recognise the impact that products which encourage repeated and persistent use have on young people and start taking their responsibilities too. Again, I would also throw the parents in the mix. Dr. Henrietta Bowden-Jones, Director of the National Centre for Internet and Gaming Addiction and the Royal College of Psychiatrists, spokesperson on behavioural addictions, said, the Centre for Gaming and Internet Addictions is the first and only specialist service on the NHS. I am delighted to be leading it and grateful to the NHS for recognising the problem, which will ultimately see us helping thousands of children and young people. In addition to the new children and young people services opening up to 14 new adult NHS gambling clinics are being opened nationwide. The Northern Gambling Service Clinic in Leeds is the first outside London and opened last month. That would actually be September. And that's it. That's what the experts have got to say, and I'm in 100% agreement. What worries me is I also see this amongst YouTubers that I follow. You guys that are doing 6 hours, 24 hours straight internet, it worries me. Have you guys got an addiction? It's of no good to anybody. being addicted to something, you've got to get yourselves into the real world as well, guys. Yeah. But it's great to see that at least in the UK, it is finally a recognised problem, and there are specialist people there that are going to help you. But again, tech giants and parents must be playing their parts as well. And certainly, people like myself, I'm a full-grown adult now. If I've got an addiction, then I should be listening to people that are there trying to help me. Well, what do you guys think? What are your thoughts? This is certainly a subject that is never ever going to go away now. And I could also argue, really, we've got nobody to blame but ourselves. We haven't. We wanted these products. We wanted these type of gaming machines. We wanted to be able to play 24/7. Well, they gave it to us, and all we've gone and done is misused it. But with all that being said, I am not forgetting the game-producing manufacturers. They also make games so addictive that we can't put them down, and they will throw in all sorts to grab as much cash as possible. Loot crates, loot boxes. You want that favourite skin or that diamond crystalled weapon, and you want to buy it now. That's a whole nother subject, but again, it's almost a form of gambling, and that is certainly what it is classed as in the UK now. Gambling. What do you guys think? Seriously, let me know your thoughts and feelings, please, below. I'd like to thank you for watching, and thank you for supporting me. I'll catch you all again. Take care.